Dean Legge talking about Georgia's 45-21 win. Could have been 70-7. I totally think Georgia can beat Alabama next week. I'm not sure they won't. I mean, Alabama's going to be favored. But this team is on fire right now. They are clearly one of the best, I think, 3 teams in the country. I think it's Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Not necessarily in that order, but I don't know. The other thing I would say, too, is I think there's only 3 teams that can beat Alabama. I think it's Georgia, Clemson, and I think Oklahoma can do it only because they can score a pile of points. And you know, I think Georgia has the best chance. But more than that, the way they're playing right now, they are really playing well. Today was a complete ass whipping from the word go. And I walked around the stadium before the game, and you know, it's really a wonderful place. But before games, you can feel things, and Georgia was not interested in any pregame stupidity. I'm not saying Tech was, but Tech had a lot of jumping around and emotion before the game. That's fine until you get your ass whipped and you're down 45-7 and you look stupid. You cannot have false bravado. I covered Tech in 2009 when they beat Clemson in a game where the 2 teams just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. In that game, not that anyone cares, Georgia Tech was the team that was absolutely quiet. Clemson was making a bunch of noise. Sometimes when you have a bunch of jibber jabber at the beginning of the games, even if it's just you and your teammates, sometimes that's false bravado, and you've got to be really wary of that, because if things go the wrong way on you, you will fizzle quick. Next thing you knew, Tech was down 35-7 at the half, I think, if my math is correct. Need a slide ruler. 38-7, excuse me. Just a total beating. And all the chirping in the media, Brad Stewart, you scored a meaningless touchdown and you didn't get anywhere near the hedges. I just, if I were Tech, I wouldn't say a word from here on out. I would just try to win the game. And I think Georgia talks too much about this rivalry sometimes too. I did not like seeing, I think it was stupid to say this is not a rivalry. It's totally a rivalry. But, hey, you know, whatever. But if you're going to talk the talk about the hedges, you need to score more than 7 points in a half. In the first half, I should say. The second half, you know, Tech didn't really do much until about 7 minutes to go in the game. And it's just like, you know, lesson learned. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. And Paul Johnson's now 3-8 against the Dogs. Georgia was 6 of 7 in the red zone. I mean, that's just, they had 1 punt. I mean, the problem for Tech, the problem in this game, the problem for Tech against Clemson, Georgia, elite teams, is not going to be the Tech offense. It's the Tech defense. Tech was mentally tough, hardcore in 2014. Those guys were tough kids. They were mentally tough. And they stuck in there and they won that game late. They had a really good defense, though, that year. We can't say that right now. You can't give up almost 450 yards before. I mean, Georgia just shut it down in the fourth quarter. I don't even think they were not interested in any way really playing the game. Probably after the half. They were just cruise control, getting ready for the Tide. And I am careful about this game because growing up in Atlanta, I know that you got to take Georgia Tech seriously. But Georgia absolutely curb stomped their ass today. I mean, this game was not close. This is 2 years in a row where the aggregate score is something like, and this is off the top of my head, 90-28. I mean, that's not close. Those are not competitive games. As Georgia's been more competitive, I was going to say with Vanderbilt, that's probably not true, but certainly with Kentucky. So Tech's got a long way to go. Look, for all the shit talking about winning in Athens 2 years in a row, or 2 times in a row, and like I went to the Atlanta paper last night to read stuff, and maybe it's because, you know, the paper has Dog Nation as its only, like it's just Georgia over there, so everything else on the paper side has to be about Tech. But I mean, damn, it was how Tech can beat Georgia, what this win would mean for Tech. You know, it's like, you know, God, it's just silly after a while. I don't know. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I see why there's segmented audiences, for sure. And Tech has a segmented audience as well, but I just, you know, how Tech can win this game, apparently they couldn't. All right, I do really think Georgia's got a shot next week. I think it's more than a shot. If they're a double-digit dog, I'm not sure I get that. I mean, I think Alabama is the clear favorite in this game, but they're not so much a favorite that they're going to win no matter what. And y'all got to get a little, take the little Larry Munson voices in your head and move them to the side for a week. I mean, I was talking right over there, right behind where we do this, talking to Swift, Ledbetter, Holyfield, and I can't remember if I asked Fromm or not, but I said, is this, it's Alabama thing too much? And they all said yes. So we know that they are locked in. They were locked in after last week. You could tell with UMass, they were not going to let Georgia Tech win. They did not. And for the Jackets, this is not going to change. This is what they are. I'm not making fun. I mean, I'm just saying this is what it's going to be probably for a while. They're going to win some against Georgia, but it's not going to be 4 in a row or anything like that. They're not going to win a decade anytime soon. It's just not going to happen. So that's probably someone important calling me or not. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but I really think Georgia's got a very good shot against Alabama. There's only a couple teams that can beat them, and Georgia's one of them. All right, let me get this. Probably Santa Claus. Dean Legge wrapping up from Sanford Stadium. Georgia wins 45-21.